We've got some breaking news from Uganda now. President Yoweri Museveni says that the Indian Ocean belongs to him.
But that ocean belongs to me. Because where is my ocean? I am entitled to that ocean. In future, we are going to have wars.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this YouTube channel, The People's Spectrum. In case you love anything revolving around politics and history, then you are at the right channel. Please go ahead, subscribe, like, and comment in this video. And without further ado, let's go straight to the topic of the day. And Kenya and Uganda is trending. All right? Why is it trending? Simply because of political reasons and slightly economic reasons. Uganda being landlocked country, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni had to say this about it. And this time round, his remarks going straight to the head of Kenya. And these are the quotes of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And he says, in Uganda, even if you want to build a navy, how can you build it? We don't have access to the sea. The political organization in Africa is so irrational. Some of the countries have no access to the sea, not only for economic purposes, but also for defense purposes. You are stuck. How do I export my products? That is why we have had endless discussions with Kenya. This one stops, another comes. The railway, the pipeline, we discuss. But the ocean belongs to me because it is my ocean. I am entitled to that ocean. In future, we are going to have wars. I know most of the people will take it as a joke. But how I do know it is, this guy means it. Each and every word of his sentence, it counts. So don't take it as something that looks to you as a joke. When he plans for good. He never retreats. And in Africa, we know that we just have only 13 countries in Africa that are landlocked countries. And what do I mean when I say landlocked countries? These are countries whereby its borders don't touch the ocean bodies. So when they want to do some of the imports or even exports through the sea, they have to go into agreement with the countries bordering the sea. And these 13 countries are, we have Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad, Central African Republic, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and lastly, Botswana. So these countries have to go into agreement with countries that do have a border or that touches the coastline. So they do their imports. And here, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is saying that most of the time, we had to go into agreement with the Kenyan government so that they do allow me import my goods. That is petroleum, either through the Kenyan pipeline or from the seas, right? Now, Kenya and Uganda, time since immemorial, have been having some of major political rules. And just to touch on a few, the first one is border and pastoral resources disputes. We know that Kenya borders Uganda to the west. And when it borders Uganda to the west, we have the Turkana people and the Karamojong of Uganda and the Sebei of Uganda too. These people are pastoralists. So they have to do the migration. when they do migration, there are some feuds that comes in. There are some conflicts that rises because of the resources that they are dying of it, or they are dying for them, so that their animals do get water and pasture. And most of the time you find that there are cattle rustling, and they do fight for the grazing areas. And I am very happy that both governments have come into terms and they are solving the dispute amicably and making the two communities work at their level best in keeping peace and doing their economic activities. The second one is diplomatic tensions and arrests. In May 2025, President of Kenya, that is William Samoei Ruto, said that, or he appealed to the governments of Tanzania and Uganda over the arrest of activists. And when we measure with Uganda, we had Nicholas Oyo and Bob Njagi who were arrested in Uganda. And the government of Kenya had to intervene with the government of Uganda so that the two gentlemen were released. And we are very happy that the two gentlemen, Nicholas Oyo and Bob Njagi, was released. The other one is historical military or intelligence suspicion. In the late 1980s, Kenya and Uganda were, had some of these political, they had this political conflict whereby there was a border conflict between Kenya and Uganda that tied to Kenyan suspicion that Uganda was harboring Kenyan insurgents. And the last one is the trade and transit disputes. And here is where President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni comes in. He says that I don't have the touchline of ocean bodies. And he went far and gave us an example and said that if you are living in a flat, from the first floor, second floor going upwards, you all converge and say that the ground is ours. So at this point, I am at the top floor, meaning that the ground is mine too. And that reflects directly that the ocean is mine. Is it madness? Is it wisdom? Or how do you see it? One of the Kenyans went far ahead akasema kwamba kunja weka kwa wallet peleka.
The doctor has granted me liberty to talk so I can shout as much as I want. Nataka munionyeshe the Navy unit of Uganda. Indian Ocean unangangania when do ulileta hapo penye iko? What is wrong with East African leaders? Hey, Uganda na bahari la Hindi ni wapi kwa wapi? Okay, sawa, ni yako. Leta Navy yenu tuone kama inatosha. And make sure they have equipment. Hizo pata mradi za Kiswahili. Endeni shule mkajifundishe. What the fuck is this? Indian Ocean bill. Sawa, kuja beba. Kunja weka kwa wallet. Enda nayo. Hold on.
This is for entertainment purposes only. So what's up with Museveni, man? What's wrong with him? Did you hear what he said yesterday? Ati, the Indian Ocean is his, and Sijui, Ati, if you have flats, and Kenya is on the ground floor and Uganda is on the top floor, Uganda also has to be able to go to the Indian Ocean. Is that some kind of like hidden way to say he wants to invade Kenya? And let's not forget, this is days after he admitted to capturing and torturing two Kenyan activists because they were riot experts. And he released them apparently when he got a call from Uhunye. I did that story, family. And let's not even take for granted. You know, now this makes me think. Remember when his son was like, I will invade Nairobi, sijui in days, sijui what? You think it's a joke? What's wrong with these guys? Ebu, let me know what you think in the comments. Ama, this has been the age-old Nini kind of strategy or plan for them. Because, you know, they say Jomo was actually some Ugandan king. So have they always seen Kenya as the wider Uganda? Yeah, guys. Anyway, we just have to keep on raising our vibration, family. Keep on expanding our hearts and our minds. Because this is the cost of being a holy nation. Because once we get to where we need to get to, soon and very soon, and the ancient order comes in, Tanzania, Uganda, Sudan, all other nations that are touching us and nations across the world will be affected and they will change. You saw that even Nabi's UAE friends were in town. Ebu, I'll do another show on that. Pay attention and keep your vibrations extremely high. Because everything happens on the spiritual realm first. And let me assure you that we are winning the spiritual little warfare that is going on right now. It is what it is. And if you know, you know.